Shalom, shalom, everybody. You are tuned in to the Search Engine International on Blog Talk Radio. This broadcast is brought to you by the Gathering of Christ Church. I am Brother Gaja. With me in the studio is Elder Gabar.
Shalom. Shalom. How are we doing tonight?
Good, Elder. How are you?
Pretty good. Maintaining.
Nice, man. Nice. Also with us, Brother Azariah in the studios. And I think we just lost our guest, really. And what's the brother called again? That's in the queue. I think we just lost him right there.
Okay, so yeah, he'll be calling back, or maybe perhaps. Okay, I guess we could take a quick break, and then or just wait for a few seconds, and then he should be calling back. He probably lost contact.
Well, all right. Well, to bring the listeners up to speed right now, I'm sure many of you have heard of the passing of Brother Tawab Rawchaa. We're gonna talk a little bit about that tonight. We're gonna get find out exactly what went down. So brothers who were there on the scene when it happened will actually be telling us what went down. So stay tuned. Here he is now. He's back now. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go straight to him. Shalom, brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, shalom. I can hear you, brother.
Shalom.
Hey, shalom, brother. So thanks for calling, brother. I know we was compelled. We had a scheduled show today, but we was compelled to do a quick tribute show with the brother that passed away in Texas, which was I found out, I believe it's Sunday, but I believe I was texted about it Saturday night, because I believe it happened Saturday night. And there's a brother that actually. He's a good brother. He's been with the church for a while, and then it was a tragedy. And then I know there was a news report that came out, and we're gonna get into that in a few minutes. But we wanted to just get your perspective, because my understanding you was the last brother that saw him alive within the church, and we spoke I believe yesterday about it, and it was a tragic event. The brother's name is Tawab Rawchaa. Tawab
Rawchaa.
Tawab Rawchaa. Yeah, Tawab Rawchaa, and he was a good brother. My understanding that Elder Rawchaa named him. Actually, I remember having a meeting, a Texas meeting, about a month and a half ago, maybe a month ago, and I know. Elder, I know the brother's name, I believe is Reese.
Reese, yes, sir.
Reese, right, Curtis. And then the Elder Rawchaa asked him, how long you been with the church, and I think he was with the church. You've been with the church for 2 years now.
Con,
okay. And then I remember Elder say, okay, brother, well you gave them his Hebrew name, Tawab, and then. Well, brother, from your perspective, and like I said, anybody that knew the brother could call in. There's going to be a tribute, to the brother. 646-200-4309. Anybody in Texas, in the Dallas area, in the Houston area, anybody that ever talked to the brother, and things of that nature. I spoke to the brother briefly, with the meetings and things of that nature, but I know you brothers knew him more, in a more deeper level in Texas. So please call in at 646-200-4309, 646-200-4309, and also, Brother Gaja, anybody that's from Texas that knew the brother, let them go in the front of the line. We usually. When they got these news reports on, black on black crime, and what you'll call violent crime in the ghetto. They usually play, they demonize the brothers and they make it seem like it's maybe gang related or some form of things of that nature. From my understanding is that from the report, the news report was stating that it was a jealous ex-boyfriend breaking into a home and things of that nature, and it was a situation that the current boyfriend was got into a fight with the ex-boyfriend, and the current and killed the ex-boyfriend. So from what we gathered in the brothers that knew him, it wasn't that type of situation. So brother Manazak, I always mispronounce your name, and forgive me. Give me a quick rundown that day, what you guys were doing, and I guess we could start. My understanding, you guys were street preaching that day, correct?
Con.
Okay,
yes,
so
we was out street.
So just give us a rundown from the morning or the afternoon until the actual event.
The whole story, okay, Con, Elder. Yeah, well, we basically the brother stayed the night at my house the night before because he really wanted to go street speak the day after. So the Sabbath day had arrived, and we basically went down to the Galleria, the mall. And we was out there street speaking. We had the megaphone and everything, and the brother was actually recording us while we were street speaking and passing out flyers. And we actually have some videotape of the brother, and we was doing that from pretty much to 12 all the way till 3, and then from 3 to 5, we went on a flyer campaign on the southwest side of Houston, and we did that all the way till about 5:30. And the brother was real, man. He was going in, basically teaching the word real strong the whole day. And from there, he had wanted me to come, and he wanted me to go with him to take him to go get his daughter, like we normally do every month. For the past month now, I've been taking him to go pick up his daughter.
Okay.
And it was me, another brother named Henry. He's a part of the church now, and Tawab. So we went, it's on the southwest side as well, southwest side of Houston. And I went over. We went over there, and the brother, got out the car like he normally does, and went to his baby mother's house. And me and Henry was just sitting in the car, realizing that it was taking too long. So I get out the car and walk towards the direction he was walking towards. And mind you, I don't know where his baby mother lives at because I never been there physically myself at her house. I just come there and park and just let him get his daughter. So I'm going that direction, and I hear them, fighting and whatnot. And I start moving towards the direction of where I'm hearing the noise coming from. And then as I'm getting closer, I hear him yelling and calling out, for some help. Mm-hmm. And I'm running towards him and running towards the noise, and I hear a taser go off, and I hear her, screaming at him, pushing him out the house and shut the door. And I see him crawling out from the corner and asking me to come help him. Okay. So I run to him, and I pick him up and put him over my shoulder, and I take his shirt off so I can access his wounds and basically see what type of wounds he had. And I put the shirt on his biggest wound, and I'm walking him to the car and asking him what happened, and he was telling me that, Jackie's boyfriend was stabbing him. So as I'm walking him to the car, I sat him in the car, and I asked the brother Henry that was with us, who was waiting in the car, where's the nearest hospital? So we're driving in, and I'm hearing the buzzing noise go off in the back of the car. I don't know what it is, so I turn around and reach and grab for it, and it was a taser. And I asked him, I said, well, where did you get this from? And he said, I got it from Jackie. I said, she was tasing you? And he said, yes, she was tasing me. So I'm driving. I get 3/4 of the way there, and the brother asked me to pray for him. And at first I told him, I said, no, I'm not going to pray for you because it's not that serious, because I didn't know how serious it was. And then when the brother yelled at me, he said, pray for me real loud, pray for me. So that's when I knew it was serious than what it was. So I started praying for him. And the brother, after I finished praying, I turned back because I got to a stoplight to really turn around and basically, show him some love, you know what I'm saying, and actually, be with him. And he looked at me, and he didn't say anything, but he looked at me like, appreciation, like thank you. And he had no fear in his eyes whatsoever. But he looked up and he said, I'm passing, and I'm going to go now, and I'm passing. And just lifted his head back and looked at the ceiling and just took his last few breaths and died.
Well,
also, when I got to the hospital, the doctor had told me that he was diagnosed with over 10 stab wounds all throughout his body. And his heart gave out on him because of the taser that she was shocking him with. He probably would have made it if she wasn't tasing him because his heart wasn't acting right because of the electric voltage that was going through his body.
I'm extremely shocked of the event. From your understanding, how long you know the brother?
I know the brother for almost 6 years.
6 years, okay. And what kind of brother was he? My understanding, he had a daughter, Joy. My understanding, she is 6 or 7 years old.
She's actually 5 years old. She's going on 6.
Okay, she's going on 6. And my understanding is that this is a routine that you guys do every Saturday after the street preaching or service. You actually, because this brother before you came into the truth. My understanding, you guys were friends, and you guys were but you grew up in the same neighborhood. You came into the truth together, so you knew this brother personally. And from your perspective, what kind of brother was he, and things of that nature?
Well, he was a great brother. He's always been there for me. Even when we was in the world, he was always there for me. And every time I got into trouble, he was always there. And he actually brought me into the truth. I was into all this foolishness, Scientology, and all this other wickedness. And he actually brought me out of that and brought me to the truth. And he kind of fell off a little bit, and I basically, got him back on his feet and told him he needed to come back around. And I started picking him up every day and then getting him away from what the world was presenting to him. So he started after that. He just changed. He did the whole 360. He was coming to class every day, never missed class. We get together 4 days a week. He was bringing his daughter to class, and the church loved him and loved his daughter. He never did nothing wrong. He always stayed the night at my house, and just there was times where I had the TV on and I'd be going over. I'd get one scripture and he would tell me to turn the TV off because he wanted me to go over more scriptures with him. So he was fully into the word. He was a man of God. Just from your perspective, because the stories just seem bizarre. It just seemed bizarre. My understanding that the mother of his daughter, they've been separated for was it a year, a few months? Well, how long they've been separated? They've been separated for, I would say, almost 2 years. Almost since he came into the truth. Maybe like a little bit, maybe like a year and about 9-10 months, because she actually came into the truth with him. I remember when she came in with him, and she actually left because of some complications that they was having within their relationship, and then she went and got another man, another husband, and that's when stuff started escalating between them and him seeing his daughter, and she was always complaining that she didn't want him to see Joy, and she was always angry at Reese or Tawab because Joy wanted to be around her father more than she wanted to be around her mother, and I think that really is what she was really angry about. And the boyfriend didn't make it any better because he had problems with Tawab as well. He was trying to hit him with a car a day or a couple of months back, try to hit Tawab with a car. And I remember him telling me this, and I'm like, well, why didn't you report it? Because he just was like, he just didn't report it. And so I think that's why the situation escalated, is because of the boyfriend that the baby mother was with at the time. And I think that he basically is the one that started it. And Jackie, having her feelings, her hatred for Reese or Tawab, that's what made the situation, escalate.
Escalate. Was the situation? Was he a jealous situation? Was it? Was that the issue? Jealousy? He wanted her back, or? Because my understanding, this was a routine. He used to go there every Saturday to pick up his daughter. Correct?
Correct. He had no jealousy whatsoever for that man. All he wanted to do was get his daughter. He didn't even really too much even like Jackie, at all. He told me he still has love for her, but he couldn't be with her because of how wicked she was and how she was always, trying to find an excuse to not follow the scripture. So he really didn't, you know what I'm saying? He really didn't.
And that was, and how long did they separate it?
They've been separated for almost about a year and probably I'd say a year and about 2 months, a year and 10 months, because she came into the truth with him. So
yeah, so it's been over a year. As the scripture always, the scripture says that I came to bring separation, not unity. When Christ says I came to bring a sword, not peace. And it comes with the territory when somebody wakes up and the other person does not want to wake up. So it comes with the territory. So this was a situation that he wanted her back. He just wanted to be in a part of his daughter's life.
And I think the boyfriend was actually trying to fight him, and as they were fighting, it ended up in the house because he's trying to get his daughter at the same time. So that's how it ended up in the house.
And that's how it ended up in the house. So it was not a situation that this was like the news was to report it.
Officers are on the scene of a fatal stabbing.
It happened around 8:30 at the Brookbend Apartments on Fondra near West Airport. Our Tim Wetzel is on the scene.
Tim, what do you know?
Well, police were originally called here for a fight. Then they learned that this was much worse situation. You can see a very active police scene going on behind me. A few minutes ago, we watched as they put a man in handcuffs. We do have some video of that. It's not clear at this point if he is a suspect or just someone they are talking to. What we're hearing right now is that this was some sort of domestic dispute. An ex-boyfriend, we're told by police, was trying to get into his ex-girlfriend's apartment. In that process, he was stabbed. We don't know who stabbed him, who in the apartment did that. His friends dropped him off at a hospital where he later died, and that's when police got here sort of at the tail end of all this. They are now talking to several witnesses, and they're trying to piece this all together. Neighbors in this area are very concerned. They're tired of the violence here. We spoke to one of them a few minutes ago. Here's what she had to say.
Every time you look up, we're hearing the sirens, police coming back and forth because of people can't get along. I just wish that it'll all stop,
And police have not yet identified the victim, but we're told he was taken to the hospital by friends where he later died. Of course, we're waiting for more information. As we get more details, we'll let you know. For now, we're live here in Southwest Houston. Tim Wetzel.
It was nothing like that from your perspective.
No, it was nothing like that at all. Nothing like that at all. He always gets joy. I've seen him just get joy and leave, and he just be happy. He'll never say anything about his baby mother at all. Nothing ever.
Right.
And he'd just be happy to have his daughter.
Now, from your perspective, so what happened that night? You're taking him to the hospital. He asked you to pray for him. You did. You then he left the living. Clearly, he's in a better place because he did the right thing. He was baptized. He was doing the work. Okay, so he's definitely in Abraham's bosom. So he's in a good place, in a better place than we are. Run me through from this perspective of you went into did you made it to the hospital? What was the next step? What you did after?
Well, the next step is I get him to the hospital. First off, when I'm driving, it's one of the most painful situations I had to go through because I know he's passed already. In my car, I've seen him take his last breath. So, but in my mind, I'm thinking he's still gonna make it.
Yeah.
You know, just hoping he's still gonna make it. So I'm driving him, and I get him to the hospital, and I run in there. Well, first off, I run to the ambulance, and I tell them, I said, man, can you help me? My friend, he's dying. And they said, well, you got to go into the ambulance. You got to go into the hospital because we already got somebody right here. So that enraged me right there. But I was like, okay, you know, let me just move on. So I run into the emergency room, and I say, can you help me? My friend's dying. And they're gonna go and say, yeah, can somebody bring the wheelchair outside? And I'm like, I look at him like with a distraught look on my face. I'm like, are y'all stupid? Like, my friend is dying right now. You don't need a wheelchair. You need a stretcher. You need and then so they bring the wheelchair outside. I'm like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just come and get him. And as soon as they get to the car, they see like, oh, he's not breathing, and then they want to go get the stretcher. That just takes time. And then when the stretcher gets there, I you know, because they see a black man, they don't want to just too much put they all into it. First off, so I mean. You know, so I mean, I open the door, and me and Henry have to pick the brother up because there's all women around. So me and Henry had to pick the brother up and set him on the stretcher, and then they took him to where they took him to, and I was following them. They was asking me a bunch of questions, and then they asked me. They waited for a minute, and they come in, and I'm actually seeing them trying to resuscitate him, and they told me, yeah, well, you need to call his family. And right then I knew it was just, when they say that, it's like, you know, that means that, you know, he's not going to make it. And so they had him on the, you know, the breather, and they had his heart, like they said his heart was faintly beating faintly, but the fact that them electrical surges and the internal bleeding, because he was diagnosed with over 10 stab wounds, he was bleeding too much internally inside of his body. And, you know, so they took us in the room, and then a few of the brothers got there. It was me, Henry, Quadam. He got there. He was the first brother to get there, and then a couple of other brothers got there, and a couple of sisters came through, Quadam's rib and Lisa, and then his brother came, and it was just, you know, everybody was just in tears. You know, everybody was just real shocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, this is a tragedy that it shouldn't have happened, and I'm trying to make sense of it all, and how it could have escalated to this level. I mean, and what happened next when the police was involved, and that they what in regards to that, what happened?
Okay,
the police questioned you?
Yes, the police detectives actually came in there. The police questioned me, and then the detectives came. It was a woman and a man. They came in, and they took me and Henry, the brother Henry, downtown, and they questioned us. And they said, what happened? And I told them exactly what I'm telling you. And you know, the detective, the woman, she actually was in tears when I told her. You know, because I was telling her about, you know, we was doing the work of the Most High, you know, we was teaching, and I had the brother's backpack on me, and I pulled out the flyers that we had in our backpack and all the books he had in his bag, and so she knew I wasn't lying about it, and she was in tears herself, and she told me, she said, I believe you, you know, and she said that, you know, maybe, she said, even if, you know, they said that he broke in once, maybe twice, you stab somebody, but over 10 times you're deliberately trying to kill somebody, and also you have a taser. You don't need no other weapon. You know, and it doesn't make sense that, you know, you're tasing a man. He's immobilized. He can't even move to go outside the door. So I mean, you're stabbing this man when he's immobilized. It's like you were intentionally trying to take this man's life because you had anger towards this man.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Why it would have been it need to escalate to this level. I'm in shock. I mean, what, you know, just the level of violence that this man went through. You're in the world, you know. You're not part of the world, but you're in the world. So I know we got other people from Texas. I know Brother Gaja, maybe we could start bringing them in, and they could just talk about, you know, today is a tribute. It's about this brother, Tawab, a good brother, been with the church for a long time. Elder Rawchaa actually named the brother himself, gave them the Hebrew name. And if I remember that meeting that we had, and the brother, Elder Rawchaa asked him, you know, brother, how long you been with the church? Like, you know, it's time for you to get a Hebrew name. So the elder gave them that name. So that was a blessing. So, Brother Gaja, maybe we could bring in some other brothers and sisters from Texas that could, you know, kind of share their thoughts and everything that's happened these last few days.
Okay, man. You know, brothers, man. I'm here listening to the show, and I'm shocked, I'm sad, I'm angry. You understand me? My heart goes out to the family. My heart goes out to my brother, Manatazak, out there, man. All the brothers them out there who, you know, who actually going through this right now. You know, I mean, you know, what can you say? You know, what is there to say about such a tragic and senseless, you know, demise of a brother who doing the work, man. I mean, you know, if man was on the road selling drugs, or man was out there looking to cause, you know, dealing with things, yo, but man out there preaching the word, man out there street preaching the Sabbath day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, right now, it caught me on a level because, yo, we were out street preaching on the Sabbath day, man, and you know, the situation between men and women and children, it's a universal situation. We deal with it daily here. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, to what end? To what end is this? To what ends we gonna be, you know, to what end? And like you said, either which way this thing pan out, the person that hurts the most here is this 6-year-old child.
Mm-hmm.
who will be without mommy or daddy, or mommy and daddy. You understand me? Now the brother, you know, it's a sister and a brother who, as he said, looking to go jail. Another Israelite that's gonna get lost in the system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when will we come out of this? When will we stop this? When will we wake up? It's like life don't mean nothing. It's like life have no more value. Huh? When? Tell you, man. Brother, I'm here, man. And yo, let's just go to the next call, man. Let's go to the next call.
Okay. So I think we have from Texas, Ty, Brother Ty from Texas, 832. You're on the air. Brother Ty, you're on the air. 882, you're on the air, Texas.
Hello?
Hello, you're on the air, brother.
This is Deacon Pine.
Hey, Palm. Okay, my they put here, they misspelled your name. They put Ty. Okay. Shalom, brother. How we doing tonight, brother? How we doing tonight?
Hey, Shalom. We blessed regardless. We are totally blessed tonight. You know, I want to do this, man. I want to say that, you know, in lieu of this tragedy, you know, I want to speak about the brother kindly, because I was totally impressed with this brother these past couple of months. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From the moment that he got his Hebrew name from Elder Rawchaa, the brother's been on point. You know what I mean? He's been on point. He's been studying. He's been in the scriptures. He's been at every church function. And every time I see the brother, he's got a smile from ear to ear. He's not an aggressive man in any way. I can tell you that 100% right now. He had no aggressive nature as far as I've seen, and I know the guy. You understand? And like I said, and his thing was he wanted his name, and I thought it was so powerful that he got it directly from Elder Rawchaa. And his name, Tawab Rawchaa, for the listeners that don't know the Hebrew too well, is good spirit. And the brother really did have a good spirit. He wanted to have this Hebrew name. He wanted to be known as who he was, Tawab Rawchaa. And now, you know, he's still doing the work. You know, I get phone calls. I don't know. You know, I'm getting phone calls from people that are in other camps, you know, other Israelite groups from all over the place, California, New York, you know, and his brother's really, his spirit is still doing the work, you know.
Yeah, and I want to give also a shout out to brother Nasi. You know, he's a brother. He's not with our church, but he's an Israelite brother. And then, you know, he called me. I know he called you to reach out to us and however he could help. So I just want to you know, thank him for that and things of that nature. And yes, within the Israelite community, there's many people that have been hearing this. That you know, because from the perspective of what, you know, sometimes, let me just put this 2 seconds. Okay, from the perspective of the social media, you know, news travel pretty quickly. So Brother Nancy, he called me and he told me that you know, he heard that the brother, you know, the news was he got killed street preaching. He got stabbed street preaching. And, you know, I told him that was not the case and things of that nature. You know, he got stabbed by the ex-boyfriend coming from street preaching, going to pick up his daughter. You know, so he immediately, you know, said, you know, whatever you need, you know, I'm going to try to put a collection together and things of that nature. So I just want, you know, thank the brother for doing that. And, you know, sometimes, you know, it takes strategy to bring us together. Sometimes, unfortunately, and maybe that's what it takes sometimes for us to, you know, and especially with the different camps and different Israelite camps and things of that nature, we're not always going to agree, and we're not always going to see, you know, the same thing. You know, we could put that aside sometimes just for the greater good of, you know, representing the name of Israel in a proper light. You know, and I think we you know, and myself and Brother Nasir, we actually working together and trying to bring some form of civil discourse and civil, you know, unity, in the sense that we don't have to all be under one church. We don't have to all agree all in the same thing, but as long as we could be civil for one another, and when we have a tragedy like this, that we could all come together, regardless of whatever camp we're from, and to help a brother, a fellow comrade, a fellow brother that died doing the work of the Most High in Christ. So absolutely. Brother Palm, I know you're driving. I know you're on route right now. I know you guys up there, you know, with you guys are putting a collection up there together. My understanding, and I know we're going to be doing something here in New York. I'm going to be having a deacon meeting with all the deacons and things of that nature to try to do a collection with, you know, everybody in their own respective area. So, what is the latest, at least with the funeral and things of that nature?
Well, like you say, you know, as we can all understand, you know, the family has to process this, so we definitely don't want to push, you know, because they weren't necessarily a part of the church, even though his mother was learning the truth. So we're trying to just let them guide us and be at the helm of this. But we are, you know, quickly on the side, you know, as far as the church members, looking and getting people prepared to donate as generously as they can. Some people are, you know, generating $100 a family. One brother donated $700 last night. You know what I'm saying? And but, you know, we did the calculation on our own, and so, you know, an average funeral out here in Texas is going to be around $10,000 at least. So we're really trying to do what we can, because not only is there expenses for the funeral, there are also going to be expenses in court fees also, you know. But like you said, with the brother Nasir, I wanted to say this also. I got another phone call. There's a couple of brothers, but I just wanted to say thank you to one of the brothers that's known amongst a lot of Israelites. Brother Zabak had called in too, and he wants to support and help generate funds also. But like I said, what you said was absolutely correct, brother. At some type of meeting, we're going to have to, be civil as people who's just starting to wake up.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I didn't know that. I know Brother Sabat. I just want to say thank you for Brother Sabat for calling and supporting and things of that nature. And Brother Nasir, thank you for supporting and calling. And like I said, you mentioned that it takes about the average about $10,000 for. Let me just put you on mute here for 2 seconds. I hear some background. Just it takes about $10,000 to help his funeral. We're gonna try to collect as much money as possible. If you're looking to help and you don't know how to do it, send a email to either there's three choices. Just the three things you could do. You could send an email to gathering as the number one L at AOL.com or G.O.C.C. NYC at yahoo.com, or you could just call the 800 number. And I do apologize for those that have called and have not gotten a response, but we backlogged on them. So in a few weeks, so we should be calling you back. But you could also leave a number at 888-334-3330. That's 888-334-3330. If you want to help and donate, we'll be able to facilitate that and things of that nature. Then, Palm, let me just bring Brother Palm back. Put him on mute because I know he's traveling. So, Brother Palm, please keep us posted in regards of the funerals and things of that nature. Mana, I know Brother Mana Tazak. I know you're French. You're communicating with the sister and the mother, or at least the sister.
Are you speaking of Mana Tazak?
Yeah, Mana Tazak.
Khan,
okay.
I actually to the mother today, and she said that actually because she wanted to respect Tawab's beliefs, and she actually said she wanted us to have full control over the service. Okay,
well that's a blessing. That's a blessing. And, so good. You were saying?
I was saying also, man. She was saying also that she actually was crying because actually she didn't know that we was going to generate, all these types of funds for her, because she was actually struggling for the funeral. So she said that she wanted to just say thank you, and she said just she just wanted to say thank you. Okay.
Well, that's a blessing. Well, we're gonna $10,000. We should be able to reach that nationwide. That shouldn't be a problem. What we're gonna do is, and we could be communicating with you and also Brother Deacon Payam, and how to facilitate that. Maybe we could set up some form of people could mail either PO box or some form of address, and then you could maybe work that out with the mother and how she would want us to do that, and we could send like a money order or a check directly to wherever she feels comfortable. So you just communicate that with her and communicate with Deacon Payam and also Deacon Kudam. I know he's working. But we'll talk on how to kind of make that that process as simple as possible. So we're going to be working that in a few days. Things of that nature. So, but those that want to know and want to donate $100, $200, $500, what have you, like I said, call that number. I'm going to keep you on queue, and then in a few days we'll have that system and how the mother will want us to help her with that. So definitely. So I think it's a tragic event. It should not have happened. It should have never have happened. This is not a situation that these two brothers should have calmed down. You know, the brother understand. He should have told the mother, "Listen, man, he wants to see his daughter. Let him see his daughter. It's okay. It's not a big deal." You know, brothers, you should always understand and to put themselves in other people's shoes. That's why the Most High in Christ says, "Love your neighbor as yourself." That's putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. How will you like it if she's your new girlfriend? I know you're walking into this family, but how will you like it if you were in that situation? Okay, you don't agree with the brother, you don't like the brother, whatever it may be, but understand that that's his daughter. If you had a daughter, okay, and this brother probably does have a daughter, and his probably is going through the same situation in his personal life. You got to understand, brothers. I mean, especially the brothers that in the inner cities, man. We're killing ourselves. We are the number one killers. Abortion and black on black crimes is the number one killer, above diabetes, above high blood pressure, above every other disease, AIDS, heart attack, you name it. Is black on black crime and abortion is the number one, number two, top two of death within the black community. We got to stop it. We got to stop it. And so so let's bring in more callers. Like I said, I want to take and thank you, Deacon Palm. We're going to definitely keep communication in regards of the next few days and how to help the mother out and things like that to bury his son. A mother should not be able to bury her son. You bury your parents. Your parents don't bury you. That's the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be burying your child. Your child's supposed to be burying you. Okay, so let's continue. We have Ayash. Let's bring in Brother Ayash from Texas.
Shalom, brothers. How are you doing?
Shalom, brother. How we doing? You calling for Texas?
Yes, sir. I'm in Dallas.
In Dallas. Shalom, brother. Hey, Ayash. Shalom, brother. I'm almost didn't recognize your voice. How we doing, brother? How's everything?
Pretty good. And, just listening to everything, it's very personal. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know Brother Tawab myself, but I've been hearing about him. And from what I've been hearing, this brother had serious love for the Most High and for his people. And it saddens me to hear about what happened to him. But my prayers go out for him and his family at this point. We're going to do everything we can to help out with the funeral arrangements. But everything that you've been talking about tonight is, this is very real because this is a situation that, on both sides, brothers and sisters have to deal with when it comes to custody, and we're trying to figure out how to operate in this world when it comes to very emotional situations like that. And it's a situation that I've been dealing with, too, for the last several years because I have two kids, a son and a daughter, that stay with their mother, and me and her don't exactly get along. And, I've made plenty of mistakes in the past, trying to deal with her and trying to get my kids and, trying to pick up my kids and drop off my kids. It's always been problems between me and her, and I didn't always handle things the best way. And I wish, I had reached out for some wisdom in the past. But I just want to, number one, just give out, a legal pointer, and I want to bring out a couple of scriptures, that will hopefully help my brothers and sisters who are dealing with this kind of scenario. I do know for a fact there are times when the mother of my children will refuse to give me my children on our agreed night, which is court ordered. But the thing is, it's a family court, and it's considered a civil matter in Texas. So let's just say you're going to pick up your children and you actually have the court order with you, the original, and let's just say the other party will not give you your children as the court order stated. The police officers cannot force them to give you your children. They consider it a civil matter and not a criminal matter. But what you can do is you can get a police report. You can request a police report from the officers right there. They'll give you the ticket. And from what the detective told me is that the other person has to deny you access to your children 7 consecutive times before you can actually take action. Or in the meantime, even before that, you can go to a family court and file a motion for enforcement for your visitation agreement. Because when we go into these situations, what ends up happening is, you expect things, to go a certain way as agreed. You're not going over there with a battle in your mind But when things don't work out with your kids, immediately, you get emotional, you get angry, and you want to act in your emotions, and that's exactly what cannot happen. And just, seeing what happened, I feel, very blessed, to still be here, because there are plenty of times where I've gotten into it with the mother of my children, her boyfriend, and her brother, and I'm just, very blessed to be here because I've been foolish. That's why I'm very glad we're talking about this tonight. But quickly, I want to bring out a couple of scriptures. I want to read Proverbs 24 and 6.
And
it says,
before you go there, brother, also, you bring a good point. Find out the law of your state, because in New York is different, in Texas is different, in Arizona is different, in California is different. So find out the law of your state. In New York, you could call the police if you have a court order. You have to go to the police station. You sit there for like an hour or two. You have to assign a police person to you. You drive to it takes a long time, and they don't like to do it, and they try to deprive you to do it. But I did it, a few times, and but like I said, find the law on your particular state.
Exactly.
Because each state is different. But go ahead, brother.
Yes, you have to fight a different way. You have to use your brain when it comes to a scenario like this. Proverbs 24 and 6, it says, "For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in the multitude of counselors there is safety." So the important thing is, dealing with this specific type of situation when you're dealing with transactions between you and the other party and picking up your kids, and if things between you and that person don't go very well, and they're probably prone to, try to cause problems. Well, the thing is, like I said, you can't go and on emotion and try to barge in and make things right to make sure the outcome goes your way, because number one, you got to think of the children, and number two, you're the light, you're the salt of the earth. You got to represent the Most High. You can't cause any offense. You see what I'm saying? So what you should do, like we've been going over, is get wise counsel. Like what I have Brother Azan with me here in Dallas. I got Brother Micah, who me and him, we stay together. You know what I'm saying? They know exactly what I go through. They know I talk to them about my frustrations, and they always give me very good advice. You know what I'm saying? You got to have wise counsel. You got to have brothers who can bear your burdens with you. You know what I'm saying? So they can share that wisdom with you. It says, in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. And just from what I'm hearing in this story, I know the brother, he had his brothers with him. He had Malazak with him, and, he had his brothers with him. But the problem is, he went to that door, and obviously things deteriorated like they did, and he ends up being stabbed. He ends up being tased. And what happened there is that, there was a lack of counsel there directly. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they were not there for him or supporting him, but there was a lack of counsel directly. Like, let's just say, there are times where even my brother Micah, he's gone with me to pick up my children, and he's there directly right there, you know what I'm saying, to record everything or to witness everything, you know what I'm saying, to make sure nothing goes down. And, because he knows the mother of my children too. So, they've done that before. Even Micah's mother, I've had people who were there, you know what I'm saying. Not saying I can't handle my own business, but sometimes if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. You have to use your brain. Yeah. And the next scripture I want to bring out, this is how we have to fight in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Philippians 4 and 6 says, "Be careful for nothing," meaning, don't get stressed out about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto Ahia. So there are times where I'm looking forward to a situation with dread, like dealing with the mother of my children. You know what I'm saying? We don't get along. I know it's probably a situation I'm expecting it to go badly. You know what I'm saying? So what I do is I just stop and pray. I say, I just pray that you put your spirit upon me. Let me not become prideful. Let me not become angry. Give me patience. Give me peace. Put your spirit upon her. You know how she is. Just let us get along here. Just let it go well. You know what I'm saying? And every time when I do pray, when I go into a situation like that I dread with prayer, it always goes better beyond, what I expected. But if I happen to go into a situation like that without prayer, you know what I'm saying, at best, it's very tense at best. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, number one, we got to go in with prayer, and number two, you got to have wise counsel. You can't go in this alone. You can't go in trying to win the battle on your own. Don't do that, because it's going to go wrong. So I just wanted to share that with my brothers and sisters.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it gets hot, it's best to just walk away. If it's getting too hot, just walk away. Rethink the situation, and like sometimes I talk to the brothers, that were, you know, in the situation that this brother was in. And sometimes it's very good to you try to build some form of friendship with the father, the boyfriend. You know, just say, I just, and try to talk to him and say, listen, it didn't work out, and with us it's cool, and if that is a route that you may have to go to keep the peace, maybe you got, like I said, use wide counsel. Go, okay, this is not working. Okay, let's go another route. Okay, this is not working. Let's go another route. But what the understanding is, we in Babylon. We in Babylon. We so you may be in a situation, you may do everything right. You may do everything, and you still are not able to actually get what you need or want and things of that nature. You gotta use, you have to understand you're under captivity. We're going through these curses. We're going through these situations. So if you do pray, you do fast. Well, I'm not saying you should never do that. You should always do that. When you come into, take Christ with you everywhere you go. But understand that we're under captivity and we're dealing with spirits, and sometimes we have to acknowledge that and understand that. So absolutely, brother. So you bring in great scriptures, and maybe this event will save lives and will save hardship, and that other people are going through this, because you're not the only one that's going through this. There's other people. I've been through it. There's other people that've been through breakup and dealing with children is very difficult. That's why I tell my brothers and my sisters, keep the family together. If you have kids, keep those families together. Sometimes, and especially when you have a situation that you're both in the church. Or you may have one situation, one brother is stronger in the word than the sister. You may have a sister, the sister stronger than the brother in the word. And you have kids, try your darn best to keep that family together. That's why Paul says that if you have a spouse that does not believe, you don't have to put them away. If they choose to be with you, they you could compromise certain things. Okay, you could do certain things. If you could, and when you're not in the word together, when you have a couple that are not equally yoked, then you have to compromise. You have to compromise even when you're in the word. When it comes to certain brothers and sisters, your wife a certain way, the brother, a certain way, and you have to learn each other's personality. We understand the man is the head of the household. We understand the man is the head of the woman and all that, but sometimes you have to understand your spouse's personality and the way they act, and you got to kind of shift your way to please your spouse, because they are your flesh. You have to love your spouse as you love your own flesh. Okay, so we even with the truth, they have sometimes there are certain debates and arguments that we have to seek knowledge in. So you could imagine even when you have a spouse, they are not equally yoked with the word. So compromise. Yes, you never compromise yourself with the truth. You never compromise what your sovereign persons would need to do. But when you're dealing with children and things of that nature, you have to sometimes use wise counsel. So I want to thank you for brother coming in the show and sharing and absolutely, and maybe this will be able to help other brothers or sisters that may be in this situation.
Yeah, all praise the Most High, and thank y'all for having me on the show. And all my brothers and sisters out there, Shalom and Happy Purim.
Happy Purim, everybody. Okay, let's go into, I believe, is Kodam or Kovan? Kodam? You're on the air. Kovan or Kovam, Texas, 704. I may be pronouncing the name. Okay, they put a V here on your name, so I don't know. Okay, Kovan, but Kodam, so that this would correct that. Deacon Kodam, how we doing tonight, brother?
Oh, we doing real good in the midst of everything. We blessed. Everybody is coming together and really showing support for the brother, showing their condolences. And just like, the brother Palm had brought out, I just wanted to speak positively on the brother, because I know you turn on the things, and just like you had brought out, I couldn't believe it when I turned on the news the next day and I see they're painting the brother, like he was this type of character or that. It's just it's not personal at all. It's just an ex-boyfriend, and he barged in on the ex-girlfriend. I'm like, I know it's nothing of that sort at all. I know,
yeah.
Like I say, everybody in the body knows the brother. I mean, every picture you ever see of the brother, every time you see the brother, he's smiling. Smiling, laid back, and like I say, it would be different if just like I told everybody else, I say it'd be different if he was a hothead individual or, this or that type of character. And I say when you tell people they think this is the last person that would happen to. And, like I say, his daughter, everybody all the sisters in the church love his daughter. They call her, that's his twin. And, it's just that, all she can do is talk about her daddy every time you see her. But just like what y'all was bringing out, and the brother, just like you brought out about the court things and the legal things. I mean, I'm in the same situation myself. Have a daughter by another individual, but just like y'all were bringing out the court system. I mean, we are in Babylon. We are in the USA. I mean, this is a devil construct. Basically the beast. So this is how. These things are set up like this, like I said, by no mere coincidence. These things are set up like this for a reason. So we do get into these situations and unfortunate scenarios, But it's just like you say, we got to keep a level head and realize everybody in the world, basically, with us having an understanding of the truth, or everybody in the world basically are babes, And we got to treat them as such. I know we had counseled the brother a couple times on the situation of the man putting his hands on his daughter, and gave him the counsel to keep a cool head about it and just leave that situation alone. And like I say, even that day, he had not been trying to aggress the whole situation, because even if he was trying to aggress the situation, he would have told Menatazak and the other brother in the car come with him. He always left them in the car and was always very calm natured about it. And everything like that, but just I just want to speak on the brother's character a little bit. Like I say, he was always a loving character. He always gave, was always there in the church ever since, like he said, he got his name. He was in and out a little bit, but ever since he tried to get back in there, I gave him a ride home one time. He was telling me about how he just needs to get his life. He got to get his life straight for his daughter, and he had always been there ever since he came back in the church. He was always in there to every single event. Like I said, like Menatazak said, we come together 4 times a week. He was there for every one of those, and then the street speaking on top of that. He was paying his tithes. I mean, he was working. He was always happy. He had the people who laughed. I mean, everybody around him laughing. He always sat on the front row of the church. Just like I say, to just speak on his character a little bit, he would always push. He had a lot of heart. We had workouts. We had workouts twice a week, and out of everybody doing the workouts, he was sometimes some of the workouts he'd be the least capable, So we were doing we had one thing we were doing we run a little bit. We ran like a little over a mile, and we were doing the bear crawls, and just to be ready, post-apocalyptic time, so to speak, coming up, and the brother was doing the bear crawls, and we were everybody else was finished, and I was telling him like, brother, you come on. Like, we were trying to push him, but he was taking a little off. So we like, come on, brother. Like, you can just come on, walk on back. It's okay, Tawab. Come on, walk on back. And then so you could do the next exercise. You need energy for that. And the brother would just not quit. The brother was just crawling and breathing, still got the smile on his face, breathing. I'm like, man, come on, Tawab. He wouldn't quit. So, and we all just started cheering him on. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? This is where your brothers is made. And next exercise was the same thing. We were doing the lunges, and the brother, he couldn't make it through the lunges, but he pushed all the way through, to the end. He would not stop for nothing. So we were all kind of joking about that later, like, man, that boy Tawab, he would not stop. He did the whole thing all the way through, and
absolutely, because so for for the record, Brother Tawab Cerise Curtis, a.k.a. Cerise Curtis, was not a gang member. He was not, Kirkland, excuse me, Cerise Kirkland. He was not a gang member. He was not a jealous ex-boyfriend, okay, because for I don't know if the media, will catch wind of this. If you want to know his character and why he was there, okay, you could ask his church member. Yes, he went to church. Okay, matter of fact, he was coming from church service the night he was killed to pick up his daughter. Okay, so let's bring all the facts when you report these stories. And I know you want to sensationalize everything, ex-boyfriend, jealous, came in, busting the door open, things of that nature. But let's bring in the full story with the understanding that, let's not just honor this man's memory. Also, his daughter, dishonor his mother. She's right now is mourning from the loss of her son. So if the media is hearing this, make sure you report the full story. Don't sensationalize every single this story just to try to get some papers or something, try to make some sell more papers, so to speak. So I just wanted to touch on that. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, Elder, can I say something? One quick. This is Manatazak.
Yeah.
They actually because of the story, they actually came back again, and the Houston news station came back and actually interviewed me and his uncle and his brother.
The Houston father was stabbed to death this weekend, and his friends say it happened in front of his young daughter. Tiffany Craig is live with new details tonight in this story. Tiff?
Yeah, the family of Reese Kirkland says that he showed up at his ex-girlfriend's apartment to pick up his daughter, not to pick a fight.
Okay, you ready? Okay, no, we're not taking a picture. She's going to record us.
Seen here on an online variety show together, Reese Kirkland loved his 5-year-old daughter Joy more than anything.
All he wanted was to see his daughter.
Ashton Lyons tells us when his brother broke up with Joy's mom, it would get tough. But he'd always pick her up on Fridays for weekend visits.
I just seen him walk when he missed the metro, rain. He just wanted to be with his daughter. That's all he ever talked about, was making her proud.
For some reason, Kirkland didn't pick up Joy last Friday, but had his friend Leroy Velasquez drive him over Saturday after Bible study.
I heard him screaming, and I heard a taser going off.
Police say Kirkland barged into his ex-girlfriend's apartment and was stabbed by her new boyfriend in self-defense. Velasquez says it doesn't make sense. Kirkland told him he was tased by his ex before the stabbing.
She pushed him outside the door and he came crawling to me and asked me to help him.
Velasquez drove Kirkland to the hospital, but he died on the way after admitting there was an argument at the door, and his daughter saw the whole thing.
She sat there and watched the whole. She sat there and watched it. She watched her daddy get killed.
So as you can imagine, Kirkland's family wants charges to be filed in this case, but that will ultimately be up to a grand jury to decide. We're live near downtown. Tiffany Craig, KHOU 11 News.